सर मैडम।
हेलो।
हॅलो. हा, येतोय. तिकडे जाऊन ऐकता का एकदा आवाज?
येतोय सर तुमचा आवाज.
पक्का ना?
हे बघा.
मात्र वैयक्तिकरित्या जाणाऱ्या नागरिकांची संख्या अधिक असल्यामुळे ट्रॅव्हल्स कंपन्यांकडनं फक्त मार्गदर्शन केलं जाते.
पूरा प्लान बनाएंगे सर ने आइडिया दिया। आइडिया आइडिया है।
Good evening, Dr. Bhatt, sir. Welcomes.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Am I audible? Hello? 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 Am I audible? Hello.
Good evening, sir. I think you are not audible.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you are.
Okay, great.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir. We are ready.
Okay, sir.
We are ready.
Welcome all the participants. This is the fourth day of our ATAL FDP on AI-driven educational technologies for enhanced teaching and learning. This is the seventh session on the critical topic of ensuring safety, ethics, and effectiveness in AI-driven education, for which we have an eminent speaker, Dr. Abhishek Bhatt, with us. I will give a little, as sir has said, the profile on the base of this profile. I read out the uh, achievements of Dr. Abhishek Bhatt. He is presently working as
पहले क्या पूरा निकाल के मतलब को साल भरने में बोले उस पैसे पे पूरा रोटा खा लिया आपने क्या खा सकते थे
there are three different patents to his name in the domain of artificial intelligence and data science. He has worked with some top-notch companies like Samsung Research Institute Bangalore on various projects in the domain of machine learning and deep learning for different industrial problems. He has received Best Project Award from Samsung Research Bangalore. His experience is more than 15 years in teaching. He has authored 70 journals and conference research papers in the top-notch journals like IEEE Transactions. He is an active member of various societies like IEEE, IET, and IETE. He is also an academic council member of CTMS Society. He is associated with a board of studies of various engineering institutes in Maharashtra and abroad. I welcome, sir, you to you, and warm welcome to Dr. Abhishek Bhatt to guide us through this intriguing session. It is absolute honor to have you with us today. The platform is all yours, sir. Over to you.
मैंने कुछ हुआ है क्या मुझे देखे तो क्योंकि ऐसे कर रहा हूँ तो टाइट लग रहा है ना मैडम
I think everybody should be on mute.
मैं कब जा रही हैं कुंभ
There is noise coming from the people.
दिक्कत वही है, हम लोग सोच रहे हैं सर कल शाम में निकाल दिया उसको रिक्वेस्ट कोड, कल नहीं खत्म यहाँ से जाने के बाद।
एकदमच लागली होती आता ते सगळे त्याच्या पाणीवर दीदी काढली तरी
कल जाते के साथ फोन आया, ठीक है, बोले आओ अभी क्या बजाते हैं।
Hello.
त्याच्या आधी 2-4 काढली होती
I request everyone to be on mute if you are not. I mean, done. So now I am on mute. So am I audible to anyone, or anyone could let me know?
Not clearly audible.
Yeah, great, great. So today we are discussing what I mean, the topic that has given to me. I mean, it is what we can say, one of the topic of concern nowadays, which is really very concerned. As such as like most of the tools which are being used nowadays are AI enabled in this education system.
रिक्वेस्ट कोड था सर, फोर्ड होगा
Yeah. So again, there are
420।
some. Yeah. Again, some of the.
Hello, sir.
सर हम
Yeah.
Volume is so low.
सर वो कम से कम
Hello.
ऊपर था
Yeah,
सर,
please increase the volume, sir.
क्योंकि हम उसको
Increase the
चला
volume.
चुके हैं, करीब लगता है 70,000 का लमसम।
Okay.
हमसे
Is it
कितने
now?
नहीं दिए थे उसको,
Is it clear?
उस समय 6।
Okay. So do my screen is visible?
Yes sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. So once again, I would like to say thanks to all the management and the faculty and the staff for the KKWIEER, especially Vandana ma'am, who continuously make a follow up with me to take this particular session. And I really thankful to all the MCA department to giving me this particular opportunity to present myself on this very good topic of AI-driven education technologies for enhanced teaching and learning. So let me start with the very basic thing. So what is the growing need, or what can say growing role of AI in especially in education? So one of the most significant impact of AI in education is that its ability to provide individual learning path. Means that we know that nowadays in education system we have the kind of concept of what we can we are not having slow learner or fast learner, but nowadays we have the learner with excellent ability, learner with excellent abilities, and the learner with weak ability, we can say. So we have these kind of analysis to be done in our system so that we can design a different learning path for a different kind of person. And that can be happened with the help of the AI only, where we can design a unique need-based learning style and the abilities. Means we can say like nowadays we have self-based learning. So this can be done. First, we are talking about the positive part. Later on, we will discuss what are the negative things, or what we can say the policies issue, or maybe proper copyright issue, or there could be a number of things that we need to consider. And one of the major point is what we call it bias, that we also discuss. Right. So this is the first thing. Like each we can design our own learning path for different on the different kind of person. And one of the most exciting impact of AI in education is potential to change on how to learn. Right. Means we are moving away from traditional classroom models towards more dynamic and interactive approach. Means that as per my understanding, AICT or any other higher authority or any body which are sitting on every other institute, they are more into what we can say engaging of the student in learning, engaging in learning. Means our aim is to engage them, is to give them the content and let them know how to learn it. We are not here to deliver like initial like traditional classrooms, like where we are going to put chalk and board and then just write everything onto the board. Now it is the time so that students can learn by themselves. By we just there as a what we can say we are just a facilitator as such for us. We have to play that particular role. We have to ignite that spark in the students so that they could learn whatever the technology that comes in a day-to-day basis, right? Because nowadays technologies are changing very fast, very fast. Right? For example, if I will ask someone, those who are into this particular class, suppose that I want to develop a product, right? Any particular product. Suppose that I want to make some software, right? What are the two major things that we need? Anyone? What are the two major things that we need to develop anything? Anyone? Suppose that I want to find out the square root of, say, for example, any particular value x. Then what we need to find out that particular square root of x? Anyone? First thing we need, that is the x, to whom we have to find out the square root. Means first thing that we need is nothing but the data as such. Second thing what we needed? Anyone? This whole Shakti fraternity? What else we needed other than this data? The another thing that we needed is nothing but the algorithm. That's all what we needed nowadays. Nothing else. Means from AI point of view, what we need these two things, and we can tune our algorithm in order to have more generalization in terms of data, right? So ultimately, we need these two things, and ultimately, that's why we are saying like at the way you store this particular data, the way you, those who are not from computer science background, they will also understand this thing. Those who are like, we need a very good system to get this particular data to be stored. That's why nowadays we have a very important subject to the student, not only today, but in previous days also, we have what we call a data structure. How better we store this particular data, and ultimately we teach the student another subject called DA, or sometimes it is called ADA, that is design and analysis of algorithm. Because ultimately, once we know how to store the data, then we try to fine tune our algorithm so that we can have much better what we say code efficiency. How can we define code efficiency? How can we define code efficiency? Suppose that for any particular problem, say for example, we have a problem, there are two codes, say code 1 and code 2, designed by two different students. One of the code is taking, I'm just delivering everything in layman terms because I don't know what kind of background the faculty are sitting over there. Maybe they are from computer background or non-computer background. So everybody can understand very easily. So say for example, code 1, it takes 5 seconds to execute this particular task, and it takes 10 seconds to execute this particular task. So we can say the code 1 is more efficient. So we have much better code efficiency in some sense. So ultimately, we are giving my code to run more and more faster because I am trying to have that kind of data storage policies where my algorithm can identify my data very easily. So these are the two main things. Means we are converting our learning path. We are changing our learning path depend upon the student learning abilities. Because ultimately, for whole of the class, we are as a mentor. We behave like a mentor. We have to behave like a mentor. So we have to design the different learning. Second is dynamic and the interactive approaches that we need to create. Right now, with the help of AI-powered virtual and augmented reality tools, for example, students can now explore complex concepts in new and immersive ways, bringing learning to life and making it more engaging and exciting. So ultimately, we can say these are the three main approaches. These are the three main issues which are being solved with the help of AI, especially in education. Because maybe those who are from mechanical background, they want to learn their students how the internal combustion engine works, how basically how this piston is moving and how it responds to a particular torque and everything or braking system. So they can make their student understand with the help of this virtual and augmented reality. So a student can easily find out where actually the piston is moving, where actually the brake force is generating, and everything is there. So this is the way where we can make an impact into the education with the help of AI. Now, our today's class perspective, or what we are going to discuss today in our class, these particular things. So we know how the AI is going to impact the education. Now, what are the main things that is being related with the AI. We will discuss risk, policy guidance, and best practices related to AI. Later on, we will find out what is fairness in the AI, and we will try to learn one Jupyter notebook. Through Jupyter notebook, we'll try to learn some fairness quality math. This is all about that we are going to convert this whole 1.5 hours into some sort of outcome that we will receive. So initially we know where AI could be used in education. Then what are the possible threats as far as the AI is concerned? And later on we will learn how these threats or the biases could be removed with the help of various kind of toolkits, like whether it is a fairness toolkit or whatever. So there could be a different type of toolkits that are being available. Not only that I'm going to discuss today, there could be a number of toolkits. So it's a very good topic to understand, because ultimately we need to have kind of novelty in research, novelty in or we can say ethics in whatever you are going to put up on it, whether you are creating question papers, whether you are going to creating some research papers or whatever. So ultimately we need to discuss academic integrity. So what is academic integrity? What is academic integrity? Can anyone tell us?
Regard to students or staff?
Yeah, among student staff. Correct, correct. So we have to behave like a team that ultimately working for a particular goal. Then privacy and security. Privacy and security means we should not use the data of a person until and unless knowing him. What we call it is sometimes if all of you have written so many research papers as such, so always they ask for conflict of interest. So there should be no conflict of interest among the people, then only the paper got accepted. So we need to care about privacy and security. Citation and attribution. Citation and attribution, if suppose I am using some content of any other person, we have to give that particular person proper citation and attribution. It should not be looks like that is the work to be done by me. Then copyright and intellectual property, we already know this particular term, but there is some of the terms that we really need to understand. One is called AI hallucination, and second one is called bias. What is AI hallucination and what is bias? What is the difference between these two? AI hallucination means we ask our AI, any particular tool, we just give it a prompt and it creates some hallucination or some kind of what we can say imagination for whatever we are thinking about, right? So this is how basically hallucination works. But bias is something different. Bias is something when there is some sort of we can say we just divide this particular thing. If all of you have learned some point of time in your career, maybe you have learned machine learning algorithm. So we have learned three different scenarios. One is called overfit, second is called underfit, and third one is called good fit. Right? So overfit and underfit are the two places where actually we have the we can say we have a bias or the variance that is and trade-off, right? Okay. So when we say we have a high bias and low variance, and we have overfit, low bias, and the high variance, right? So ultimately, when we have a high bias, then we can say the model is going to be under, right? So this is how we are going to have our data to be decided. However, we will discuss bias in more detail in the upcoming section. Inequity, then environmental impact, and the misinformation. They are not being to be very much detailed to be discussed. Now, in general, we give our acknowledgement at the end, but this time I'm giving acknowledgement at the very first slide because I'm using all these things in order to design this particular PPT. So I'm using ChatGPT 4 for summarizing by brainstorming and suggestions on the content, Midjourney and Dali and designer feature. Maybe all of you are using this particular features in your content creation. Grammarly for spelling and grammar checking. Smart Sheets for automating registration. Then or I mean, we are using the Zoom and Outlook for our content coordination, and obviously we are using Google for the web search. So I am acknowledging all these, various kind of platforms which we are using nowadays in order to create our contents. Now, what are the various use cases and the applications? So AI-powered use cases that could be starts from chatbot and virtual assistants to automated graded and assessment, then intelligent tutoring systems, then curriculum planning, then learning analytics, and then content recommendation. So these are the various spaces of we can say where we use the AI as a tool. We use AI as a tool. However, there should be a concept of what we call it ethical AI. Or maybe we have a nowadays, there are two, three terms that are really getting famous nowadays. One is called responsible AI. And another one, what we call it, explainable AI. Right? So these are the three different terms. Could anyone explain me what is responsible AI? Or how it is differentiated from ethical AI? No? Or what is explainable AI?
Sir, I think responsible means it should show the true picture, whatever is expected.
Correct. And what is ethical AI? Maybe because you are attending this particular FDP from last 2-3 days. So maybe ethical is going to be discussed a lot with all of you. Okay.
Ethical
That
is
is
yes.
transparency and accountability.
Yes, correct. Transparency and accountability. Anything else?
Without any bias.
Without any bias.
And also privacy. I think it comes under responsibility, right? Privacy. Respecting the privacy of somebody is the responsibility of AI.
Correct. So, I mean, ultimately, we start with suppose that I ask my LLM or any large language model that I have created. Suppose that I have asked this particular LLM, maybe I have 3-4 different type of LLM. Maybe start for L Llama, or maybe I have 1, 2, 3, 4, again different kind of LLMs, and I ask a question to this particular LLM, which is actually not ethical. Suppose that I have asked this particular LLM, how can I cheat in my classroom? How I can cheat in the classroom. So, what do you think? Does this LLM supposed to give the answer of this particular question? No. The LLM shouldn't give the answer to this particular question. And that is what basically is related to my ethical AI. My ethics of my AI should be there. And I am responsible towards the society. Right? Whereas what is explainable AI? My explainable AI is very simple. Suppose that my AI is going to give some sort of, say, for example, I have given, say, let us go to another slide. Suppose that I have given 100 different resumes to a particular kind of recruitment or maybe admission process, right? If we talk about students, so we are talking about the admission process. So out of these 100 CVs, my system will identify 5 candidates. Right? Later, initially, my Amazon used to have this AI in recruitment process, but it is not using nowadays because it has so much of biasness towards the female, what we can say, CV. Right? Because that much of data is not already being not actually given to my model to get trained. So it gets sometimes partial about the female CVs. So it make this particular CVs to be at the down, which we can say, not giving too much of good marks to this particular female CV. Right. So ultimately, I have to find out 5 candidates based on these 100 CVs or 100 resumes. So to whom 5 candidates one should given the admission in any particular MBA program. Right. So my system will identify based on some matrices, but whether these matrices are very much fair, that we need to identify. So what our aim for this ethical AI or the ethical or effectiveness of this particular whole session is about to find out the fairness in any particular tool so that it will be used for any particular tool. Right. So on what basis I'm going to select these 5 candidates? Right. So this is how we are going to work. So we can say in our, for example, in our education, my AI could start from admission process to student enrollment to curriculum to student record to student. Means we are using this AI from student admission to exit survey. Until and unless the student is there into the college campus, we are using AI in order to manage the student learning outcomes or student learning capabilities so that we offered best in class services to the student in order to let them achieve their desired goals. Means we need not to collect students' data again and again and again. Once we collect the students' data, we are using this particular data in order to understand what kind of subject he has taken, what kind of minor or major he has taken, where in NEP or the National Education Policy that the student is going to be fit in, what kind of elective he has taken, what kind of NPTEL course that can be offered to the student, because the student has an interest in cyber security, so the student has to be given the bucket of the cyber security. So he or she can take the subject from that particular bucket itself. So this is how the things can be planned meticulously, right? So means we can say we started from the admission and both of those students up, right? So we can say starting from the admission process to exit survey. So I'm just taking two main examples. Say for example, application review. So we can say what are my sub steps in. So first of all, my interview marks to be there, meet qualification requirement, assign application for review, or notify the applicant of the interview. So this is how my steps involved in any particular application review. Now, what is my role of AI is here? My role of AI is to automate data collection. So that we have discussed earlier in the very first slide, what are our basic two requirement? My basic two requirement is to data collection, or we can say preparation of data. And the second one is what we say design of algorithm. Nothing else. The best way we collect the data is ultimately decides the successfulness of our algorithm, right? So, but then we generate AI evaluate applicants' qualifications based on preset criteria for faster decision, categorizes and assign application to appropriate users, and then generate notification for rescheduling and update. So this is how this whole process can be automated with the help of AI. Second, say for example, interview and admission. So once we application has been reviewed, then we offer them the admission to any particular course. So streamline candidates interview using generative AI for scheduling, evaluation, and feedback. Analyze feedback for pattern and insights, and then we recommend it based on the feedback and the application data, applicant data. So this is whole. I'm just taking one particular step. Say for example, admission process only. But we can apply this AI to each and every department. We are using it at MIT as Gwalior in such a way that we are having a very good starting to end finishing of the candidate till the student leave the college, and still we have an alumni base so that the student will automatically get registered into the alumni once he has been passed out. Even we are in the process to create that kind of database so that suppose that a student has been moved to Pune. So what are the various alumni of that particular branch as well as particular group? They are there into the Pune so that they can have a meet or they can have a interaction with each other. So this is how we basically facilitate student with the help of this AI. Now automated systems. Now we have just seen how everything can be used, but now we are more onto the not only the positive part but onto the negative part. So automated systems are not inherently neutral. This is what basically the problem with our system is. Means that always there is some sort of bias that is going to be involved into the system because of not only because of the deficiency of data, but also the kind of algorithm we are using. Right? So they reflect the priorities, preference, and prejudices of those who have power to build AI. Right? So ultimately, you can see we have a darker male, darker female, lighter male, lighter female, and what is the largest? So you can see we have three different gender classifier algorithms used by either Microsoft or by IBM, so or maybe by Face. So we have three different algorithms that have been used in order to identify the fairness among the data. So you can see that most of the female or darker male data are about 94%, or females are 79.2%, lighter male 100%, and lighter female is equal to 90.3%. So this is our what we can say the largest group is 33.6. So this group belongs to 66.6, so this group belongs to 33.6. Then obviously this particular dominance of this particular group will be less, whereas dominance of this particular group will be higher. So one kind of suppose that I will take a very simple example. Suppose that we are working on, say credit card fraud detection, in which we have two classes, class 1 and class 2, where class 1 belongs to non-fraud and class 2 belongs to fraud. And out of these two, this particular class is very small, say for example 1%. This class is very large, say for example 99%. And we have been asked to design an algorithm that will identify the fraud. Means our aim to identify the fraud. And what is the size of this particular class? Just 1%. So we can say there is highly imbalance of data. And my model will be more biased toward this particular class, because this particular class is having higher distribution in general, right? So, however, we have different other algorithms that can be applied in order to overcome this biasness of my model towards class. Right? So this is how it works. So what kind of basic harms that are there into this particular kind of allocation, or we can say the issues with the bias. So we can say majority of fairness research focuses on these two harms. What are the two harms? One is called allocation and second is called quality of service. Means that, what is allocation? Allocation means it, suppose that we want to identify one particular class, but it allocates it to another class. Or we can say the system extends or withholds opportunities, resources, or information. And what is quality of service? The system does not work equally well for all the groups. Means it gives very good quality of service with one particular group, but not work with another group, it doesn't work with that much correctly. So these are the two main kind of harms that are being associated with my fairness research. However, there are some other things also. We can say stereotyping. The system reinforces stereotypes, or we can say unstructured data, as we have initially discussed. Because what my approach to make my students learn, that we used to create initial basic lines on which we build whole of the subject. So that's why I have discussed you 1 or 2 points. So on which particular basics we are going to develop whole of this particular session. Then we call it denigration. The system is actively, retrogradely, or offensive. Means what we have said initially, like we have to have what we call it ethical layer. Then procedural, the system makes decisions in a way that violates social laws. So ultimately we have responsible layer. Right. So here also we can say, we call it what is explainable layer. Means that suppose that my system rejects an student for, say, campus selection. Then my system should explain why that particular student has been rejected for campus placement. What are the deficiencies over there? So that we could fix the accountability. As one of the faculty has said, we have to fix the accountability, that why this student has not got selected into particular campus placement. If suppose the student having a percentage in 10 which is less than 60%, it is the criteria of first division, then maybe we can give this student a chance to appear for the hackathons, or maybe some contest like Codevita and all that, so that students who could not be applicable for the placement, campus placement, they could sit in these kind of activities and they can secure an offer letter. So this is how my explainable AI also to be work in place. Now, what are we optimizing? So in general, when we talk about any machine learning algorithm, there are two main functions. What are these? One is objective function, and second one is called optimization. Is it clear, everyone? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, great. So we have two main functions. Whatever the algorithm it is, ML or DL or whatever your agent-based algorithm, or whatever the algorithm you are applying, we have two main functions. One is called objective function. Second is called optimization function. So what is my objective function? How anyone can define what is objective function?
The function that may create a desired value.
That may create a desired value, correct? Or anything else that we can add? Suppose that I have a neural network, right? And I have designed this neural network. I have some inputs over here, say whatever we have. Say for example, we have x1, x2, corresponding weight w1, w2. We have a bias b, and then we have some sort of inbuilt operations like summation. Then we can have activation function, and then we have my output, right? Now I want that it is the beauty of my neural network that it can work for, we can say, because why I'm going in this particular way, because I don't know what kind of audience is there. So I'm just taking everything to be like on the same page. So suppose that I have this kind of structure for basic neural network, right? So we can say it can work as either regression kind of problem or for regression kind of problem, or it can work for classification problem, right?
Yes.
So either whether it is doing regression or whether it is doing classification, that will be decided by the activation function, right? What kind of
Yes.
activation function I am using, that will decide. Suppose that I am using a linear activation function, means I am using f of z is equals to z. Means I am using this kind of activation function. So this is my z and this is my f of z. Then we can say my system or this whole neural network will work as a linear regression. Linear regression. Right? But if suppose I will convert this particular function to, say, for example, a sigmoid function. What is sigmoid? Sigmoid is 1 upon 1 plus a to the power minus x. Means that in place of this activation function, if I apply a function that is sigmoid of s, or what we can say simply s, then this whole process will convert it to a classification process. Why? Because now this a is no more a linear function. It is now a sigmoid function. Sigmoid function means it will produce the output in the range of 0 to
0 to 1.
1. And the shape would be like something this, where the in between value, that is 0.5. Means that it will identify, this activation function will identify whether the outcome value is greater than 0.5 or not. If this value is greater than 0.5, there's a class 1. And if it is less than 0.5, then there's a class
0.
0. Means ultimately, it is the activation function that will decide that this whole of my neural network is what this particular neural network is trying to do. In some sense, not in perfect sense, but in some sense. Right? So we can say here my outcome, or we can say my objective function is y is equals to, say for example, my objective function is y is equals to, say w1 x1 w2 x2 plus b, right? Say for example, right? And now we can say we can convert this particular function as wtx plus b, we can say. So this x is what? This x is a fixed value. This y is also a fixed value. So this becomes, what is this? This becomes my objective function. My object is to find out what is the value of y for the given value of x and the b. What is my optimization function? My optimization function is to fix the value of w such that this y should match with the actual y. This is my predicted y and what is my actual y. So the error between these two should equal to 0. And for that, we will define another function called error function, or sometime it is called loss function. Correct. So these are the three different things. So ultimately, what we are optimizing. So what we are optimizing here? We are optimizing weights over. Right. So ultimately, what we are doing, we are going to train our model in such a way for a given set of training data, we have a kind of prediction. Means we have a training data and we are predicting something. Means that we are giving some y and we are getting some y predicted. And this y predicted such that my model should behave like that. This y predicted should be equals to y, so that the error between y actual minus y predicted is equal to. So it starts with problem formulation, collect data, training data, model, prediction, and finally we make decision and the impact of that particular decision is there. This is how my basic one model. So now why we learned this particular story? We learned this story for this. So my question is, my main question with this ethical AI in especially in education, this is my main model. Now, my first question is, are we optimizing the right performance metric? Means the metric we have chosen should be correctly identify our problem set. Now, whatever the metric we are choosing, again, second question arises with the data. Is that data a good representation of reality? Means the kind of distribution. And we generally want our data to be, what kind of distribution it should be? Normal distribution. Correct. Then third question arises, does our problem formulation reflect the real world context and our moral values? This is my third question. So we try to identify all these answers later on in this particular coming slide. Then the next question that arises related to my system is, does the system produces fair output? Then does the model make fair? So these are the 5 questions that we should ask from my model if suppose I am training a particular model or whatever it is. Right? So how we can define group fairness? So initially for this particular ethical AI, especially in education, we define a group fairness metric that measures the extent to which a particular group static differs across group, that is the maximum difference between groups. Means that even we have a different group, but we have a fair outcome. So, like for example, in the previous case, we have seen, we have applied 3 different models, that is Microsoft, then FACE, then IBM 360 fairness toolkit. But even my groups are different. They are of different ethnicity or maybe different background. But my system should be worked in such a way that it perform or behavioral performance of a model across. So ultimately, this is how my group fairness to be achieved. Now, why this ethical is needed into the education itself? So first thing is efficient, it should be, then comply with laws and regulation and operate based on ethical standards. Now, fairness aware machine learning. So we have these 3 main steps. One is called pre-processing, constrained learning, and post-processing. That we will also try to identify in our what we can call it a Jupyter notebook as such when we are discussing that particular part. So we can say fairness to be taken as a what kind of problem? Optimization. Because here, in case of we can say our any AI based model, our main aim is to find out that particular hyperparameters that could be optimized, right? So here our aim is towards optimizing for fairness. So initially in pre-processing, we change the data such that the sensitive feature cannot be deduced from that, right? But all other information is preserved as best as possible. Then constrained learning, as we have told you, like we have discussed already, like incorporate explicit fairness constraint in the learning algorithm. Post-processing, adjust an existing machine learning model or its prediction such that it adheres to fairness constraints. Recently, we are working with one of the company. My team are working with one of the company, and I mean, one of the senior person from that particular company interacted with me, and we have discussed a lot. And I have asked them a question that, okay, sir, fine. Nowadays we have very good algorithm. or we have very good data processing techniques. So, I mean, what is the future of data scientists then? Because nowadays algorithm can be designed by chat GPTs, or we can pre-process the data very well. So what is the need for data scientists in the coming future? What could be their role? Because once we get a very efficient algorithm like GPT or DALI or whatever it is, so what is the requirement for data scientists? And he gives me a very beautiful answer. He says that whatever the algorithm, whatever the pre-processing, it all depends upon the data quality. Means the data that you collected should be some great standards. And this data quality has been governed by some data governance policies. Right? Means, I mean, every company should run by some ethics or by some, then only company could be grown. Right? So that's why he has said like the data should be come up with a very good quality. Otherwise, what happened? Otherwise, what will happen? Otherwise, it will be like a garbage in and garbage. There is no fruitful outcome as such. If you apply n number of algorithms, whatever it is, maybe it is decision tree or random forest or maybe ADA boost or maybe a light GBM or whatever. But if suppose my data quality is of substandard, then obviously my model couldn't perform well. So post-processing, adjust an existing machine learning model or its prediction such that it adjusts to fairness constraint. So one is pre-processing and the post-processing. Then machine learning systems can reproduce, amplify, and introduce unfairness. There are different types of fairness, related harms, allocation harm, and quality of service that we discussed earlier. So these two are the major issues, I mean, constraints we can say that are being there, especially when we discussed about fairness toolkit. So fairness matrices can be used to measure potential fairness related harms. We have discussed n number of harms over there, but we basically deals in these two. So fair ML algorithm can be used to optimize for fairness. Means I have to check my algorithm 1, algorithm 2, algorithm 3, algorithm 4, algorithm 5, and so on. Then which particular algorithm works best on this particular data. It may be a what we can say condition. It may be a condition. At some time you could see like a particular kind of condition where you can see in scenarios where a particular algorithm could work best, or in some other condition and any other algorithm could work best. Right? Like suppose that there is a scenario. So for example, you are a mentor and working with various students, and you want to submit research articles for the journal, for the publication, right? And your student asks you whether we should use AI for our research papers writing or not, or maybe we can use some chatbots for this particular article writing. So my question is, what advice would you give them? Or uh, or would you go and would you allow them to use the AI based chatbots or not? Of course, yes, because these are basically kind of need of the hour. Student try to learn them, but we ask them use these chatbots, but you allow them to, but try to understand the concept and write in your own language. Right? So the feedback that we receive from the reviewer should not be a shame for us. Because once you submit a paper to any particular very good journal, they have their AI-based plagiarism checker. So that can be checked into the plagiarism-based software, which are nowadays AI-enabled. So the content that has been written by the AI will also get finded out by this kind of algorithm. Right? So, but again, it depends upon the person that what kind of ethics that allowed you to work on this particular kind of front. Now, as far as education is concerned, what would be my ethical objectives in education? So my first objective is achieving educational goals, right? So we have a well-defined educational goals. Ultimately, education is there for strong societal, educational, or scientific evidence that is there for the benefit of the learner, right? Then various forms of assessment. We already know there are some direct and indirect assessment nowadays. So we have the different kind of assessment methods that can be designed using AI so that we could get to know if suppose any kind of overlapping is there or not. So we can understand a broader range of learners' talent. Then administration and workload, obviously it can be reduced a lot with the help of AI. So ultimately while respecting human relationships. Equity, AI systems should be used in a way that promotes equity between different groups of learners. Like for example, if suppose we can use some open source software that can be used to write some research papers, right? So there could be n number of tools, maybe all of you are using them also. Then second comes autonomy. AI systems should be used to increase the level of control that learners have over their learning and the development. So this is autonomy. Then privacy, already we know. Transparency, accountability, we already
Sir,
discussed. Yeah. Is it audible now? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
You are audible only, sir.
My screen is visible or not?
Yeah.
My screen is visible. My screen is there?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Oh, okay, great.
Yes, sir.
Okay, fine. So now we have transparency and accountability, then we have informed participation, and then the ethical design. So this is how we basically works with AI tools as such. Then meanings of now we have a new word comes into the market called digital ethics. Not only ethics, but we have what we call it digital ethics. So what is this digital ethics? This is nothing but key, like this is about improvement more than right versus wrong. Because nowadays the difference between right and wrong is very marginal. But ultimately we have to work for the improvement of the student. So like why we turn the same wheel again? Or ultimately if somebody has done something, then why the same student is doing the same thing again? So it's rare that a company like purposefully uses technology forever. However, there are ways to prevent accidental missteps. And digital ethics describe process, decision, and behavior. So ultimately, we judge a technology to be ethical or not, but we can make ethical decisions in our work and with technology that helps clients. Then third comes with as far as digital ethics is concerned, it's fundamentally about people. So ultimately, we have to associate our stakeholders, maybe the students or parents or those who are connected with this particular system, who should take part in this particular thing, this kind of decision. Now, responsible AI is the application of digital ethics to AI technology. So whether we are building internal tools, helping clients from scratch, planning an AI roadmap, or testing AI models, we aim to keep our value in mind. So ultimately, like whether we are going to design, build, deploy, and operate. So this is how. Now, implication of AI in most ethical way. So, like for example, China eyes blockchain for social credit. So these are some of the terms that are really going to be used. Mobile phone industry explores worldwide tracking of users. Again, they're collecting some data. Training a single AI model can emit as much carbon as 5 cars in their lifetime. So ultimately, we have to decide what the ethics that govern us, whether we are using ChatGPT or maybe we are using DALI or any kind of tool, not unnecessarily, but obviously we can use that. Then Hong Kong police have AI facial recognition tech. Are they using it against testers? So I mean, there could be n number of applications, but they should be used in most ethical way. Now we comes on to the main consent main consent that we have in our fairness toolkit as such, and that is what we call it why. Right. So we need data to train our artificial intelligence algorithm, that we need to do everything. So in order to eliminate bias data. So whatever we are doing, in AI algorithm is just to remove this particular, that is the biasness in the data. For example, we have an ImageNet database, for example, has far more white faces than non-white faces. So you can see the distribution of the class. One class is having more kind of representation, another class has less representation. So when we train our AI algorithm to recognize facial features with a database, using a database that doesn't include the right balance of faces, the algorithm won't work. So ultimately, we need to create or we need to augment our data. We need to design such a way, we need to design our algorithm in such a way so that it will make a perfect representation of data. Right. So I believe it's important that we eliminate as much bias as possible as we train our AI. Instead of struggling our shoulders and assuming that we are training our AI to accurately reflect our society. Now, control and the morality of AI. So as we are more and more AI, we are using more and more AI, we are asking machines to make increasingly important decisions. For example, right now there is an international convention that dictates the use of autonomous. So we are using more and more, we are giving control to more and more to the machines. So ultimately we have to have that kind of critical control problem of AI. So the problem is that AI increasingly have to make split second decisions. For example, in high frequency trading, over 90% of all financial trades are now driven by algorithms. Nowadays, we have another term, if suppose all of you have heard this particular term, what we call algorithmic trading, right? Where we apply the algorithms in order to identify the best trade for this particular day. So ultimately, on base of the human, ultimately it is the AI that is taking the decision or taking the control. The same is true for autonomous cars. Suppose that if a person is sitting into the autonomous car, but still the priority of that particular person is the safety of their family. Right? Once upon a day, we are discussing this ethical AI into a workshop, and a person asked a question. Suppose that this driverless car makes an accident. Then who should be responsible? Because there is no driver inside the car. It is a driverless car. Then who should be responsible for this particular accident? Whether the company is responsible, or the car is responsible, or the scientist who has designed the algorithm. Who will be responsible for this particular kind of incidents happen? Right? So this creates interesting ethical challenges around AI and control. So again, we have to create responsible AI. Means if suppose something is going to be happened with that particular AI tool, then who the person is going to take the responsibility. And that can be done with the help of these three steps. First is improve transparency of the product and service powered by AI. So ultimately, as one of the person has said in the initial phase, we have to increase the transparency and the accountability. Then facilitate compatibility and consistency of the AI. Means consistency stands here for what? What is my consistency? Consistency in terms of AI is what? Could anyone tell us? What do you mean by consistency of AI? Obviously, it is a machine which always takes the decision correct. Then what do you mean by consistency?
Maybe consistency with the earlier result that the AI have given. The same route has to be followed. Same result.
Same result. Right. Anything else? Anyone could add it? Consistency means, like for example, if the student is there, we have to learn two things. One is called reward, and another term, what we call it value. What is the difference between reward and value? Reward is nothing but what we can say short-term gain, and value is long-term gain. Suppose that there is a student who just given, say, for example, mid-sem 1, maybe in your institute also we have mid-sem 1, mid-sem 2, then we have end. So the student has get first rank into the mid-sem 1 into the class. So this become a reward to the student because he or she stood first into the class. right? So he earns some reward. But if the student becomes first in the mid-sem 1 or again get first rank in the mid-sem 2, again get first rank in the end-sem also, then that particular student will earn a value with the faculty. Then the faculty knows, okay, fine, this is a meritorious student who always comes first. So suppose at any particular time, the student doesn't score that much good marks, then faculty genuinely ask with the student, discuss with the student, okay, what happened to you? Why are you not scoring that much good marks into this particular exam? Because the student has earned some value. So my AI should be valued, right? So these are the consistencies that my system should have, right? So suppose that I am using a plagiarism checking software, it should be consistent for all the sources, whatever the sources are, whether they're the internet sources or anything, or the thesis or any research papers and all. Then the last thing is we have to have this international standard for it. Means the standard should be same for each and everyone. Now, what are the pedagogic strategies? First is digital inequity, second is environmental impact, and third is called misinformation. So digital inequity is like we are advocating for AI access and support on your campus. Second is consider access and affordability when selecting tools. Like nowadays we have various open source tools that can be used. Then connect students to campus resources. Here I should add one more thing. We have to develop some sort of community as well. Why the Python is getting too much famous? However, it is not used by industry as such. Not very much used by industry. But because Python is a very good community, right? But most of the codes are being written into C, C++, right? Or maybe in Java. So connect a student to campus resources, integrate technology skill development into courses where possible. Right? So ultimately, we have to find out the deficiencies among the students, and with the help of the AI, we can inculcate those, we can address those deficiencies and create that kind of environment where a student can learn some good skills. Like for example, we can create some clubs and then environmental impact. Discuss these issues with students and colleagues. So the thing to be discussed, like I said, environmental impact, but find and emphasize efficacy in a collective manner. And misinformation, model and teach how to identify and mitigate information, model and teach digital media literacy. So this is how we basically works with the ethical AI. So that ends up with the PPT. Let us go on to the Jupyter notebook and we try to find out the basic structure that we work for this particular kind of operation.
Participants, please hold on. Sir is engaged with some. Yes.
Okay. So do my screen is visible to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. So for this particular kind of, exercise, I have just taken this particular, Python notebook. Not from, it is not being developed by me, it is from Kaggle itself. So I'm just using it to let us understand how this Python toolkit can be developed using a concept called FAIR. So I use this particular library So this is a kind of, we can say, assessment tool in order to likelihood of a defendant. So whether, pre-trial risk assessment in the US judicial system. So they have got this particular data. So I have developed this particular compass as a decision support tool that is used by courts in the United States to assess the likelihood of a defendant becoming a recidivist, that is relapse into criminal behavior. In particular, compass risk scores are used in pre-trial risk assessment. You can understand the seriousness of such kind of things. Means nowadays, initial level screening could be done by such kind of AI. Right. So in this particular operation, I have used this particular data that is compass scores 2 years CSA. So this is the basic data set. If suppose I have this data set, let me open this data set. Okay. So this is the data set that I have collected. You can see we have an ID, name, first, last, compass screening date, on which particular date the person has been screened, their sex, date of birth, age category, race, what kind of race it is. So all this kind of data set which is there available for that particular kind of analysis, right? Now let us see how we can define these fairness metrics. Because if we get this fairness matrix, then we get to know how this particular fairness toolkit works, right? So this is all about the data set that I have. How many, data set is there? So it is like count is around 3,11,000 something. 3,11,170. So around 3 lakh data set is there. So this is all about the data set that I have. Now let us go on to share. Let me share this complete screen. That will be more easier. Please share the screen. Okay. Okay, now to switch between the things comes. Okay, so have this particular data. Now we have this, what we can say, the FairLearn library that I will install, because I am taking everything from here only, whatever the different kind of post processing or the various steps that is being created. So I have installed this pip install FairLearn, which is very easy. You can easily install it. Maybe most of you are using this particular Python environment. Now let us say we have some data wrangling. So just import some libraries, very easy to use tool. I am just taking a very easy example so that everybody could understand. Those who are from IT background, non-IT background, or whatever the background they are. This is my Google Colab environment. Maybe all of you have learned about Google Colab. So we are using nowadays it is. So let us take some data set based libraries, pandas, numpy, visualization, matplotlib, scikit-learn libraries, because we have all the model selection, linear model, and the matrices that are there with the scikit-learn itself. We know most of the machine learning libraries are there with the scikit-learn. Then why we use FairLearn? We use FairLearn because of these matrices. So we import FairLearn matrices like false positive rate, false negative rate, true positive rate, matrix frame, and equalized odds differences. So I have call upon all these matrices from there. Then some post-processing and the pre-processing reductions that we have used from FairLearn library. So let us run this. I hope will learn. Yeah. So it require all this particular things. Now let us get this particular data. So load and pre-process the data as such. So I'm just load this particular data. I have already uploaded this particular data over here in the Google Drive itself. So I'm taking this data directly from here, or if you want to design a source, you can run it as a path from there where you are going to identify this particular data. And now I'm going to have these particular column has to be defined. I'm taking all these particular data sets. Most of you know how we define the data frame and that all everything. So we have defined all these things over here. Then we have dropped first. So I mean, we have dropped some of the data sets. Then display the data. So just display the data as such. So we know what actually it is going to represent. So initially, suppose we can say view output for the screen. So you can see proportion of positive strain is equal to 0.47. So we have 47% of the data that belongs to the frame N. Then we have equalized odds. So you can see we are applying this particular algorithm. So let us see what this particular algorithm is. This is called randomized threshold. What that randomized threshold is? This randomized threshold is nothing but we calculate the value of R. What is this R? The value of R is in between 0 to 1. So we can say like we can say the error, or we can say the when my actual is being met with my predicted value, then the highest value that it reaches is equals to 1, and the lowest value that it reaches is equals to 0. And we can change our threshold. So we can change our value of TA from here to here. So we can move our value of the threshold as such, and we will identify how much biasness is there into the system. So let us go on to this. So equalized odds holds is a value of y and a, where y is the output of your model. So y the observed outcome and a the set of sensitive characters. So this is how we basically try to identify, as we have discussed already, like we can say like optimization algorithm. As a part of the optimization algorithm, our aim is to make our predicted value to be same actual to the actual. So we can say my predicted to be equals to y for a is equals to a and y is equals to y. Then again we have to calculate the other one. So now we define a value called score, and then we calculate the scores like. So now we can classify without fairness. So we apply the logistic regression. Everybody knows what is logistic regression. We have already discussed this particular logistic regression part. What is logistic regression? It is very simple algorithm where we apply which activation function? Anyone? In logistic regression, which activation function applied?
Just to predict whether you have rain or not, yes or no conditions.
Correct.
Sigmoid function.
Sigmoid function. Perfect.
Yes.
So it is basically application of a sigmoid function that we apply into the logistic regression. We call upon this logistic regression, we fit the data, train and test. So we just find out this particular train simple logistic regression model, and let us see. Oh, the data setting form. Again, internet is the issue. Okay, so you can see we have this kind of, base calculation. So we can say we have false and the true. So we can have calculated these values. So equalized odds is equal to 0.32. Accuracy of the test is equal to 0.68. Right? So we have got this particular value. So accuracy, false positive rate, false negative rate, train test. So for every kind of, representation of data, we have calculated the values, but ultimately my accuracy of the testing is equal to 0.68 without being applying fairness constraints. Right. Now we apply the equalized odds and construct validity. So again, we are applying fairness aware machine learning. So we are applying pre-processing, constraint learning, and post-processing that we have discussed in our slide. Here we can say we have discussed these three terms. Where? Yeah. So we are applying these fairness-aware machine learning algorithm to be pre-processing, change the data so that the sensitive features cannot be deduced from the data, but all other information is preserved as best as possible. Constraint learning is like explicit fairness constraint, and a post-processing that we done adjust an existing machine learning model means we are fine-tuning them. Means all right. So we just doing all these things. So manually post-processing the decision threshold. So now we are changing the threshold where it is going to say whether the person has to be convicted or not. So we can say the make scoring predictions. So new decision threshold for African American is 0.62. Now you see, now it is giving me the output for a one particular class or one particular kind of people that the threshold value is 0.62. If it is the value is greater than 0.62, and the person has been convicted. Then get remaining indices for grouping. So again, we just calculate it, and just some algorithm is there, and we can see this is what kind of curve. This is false positive rate. So African American AUC is equals to 0.74. Then for other it is 0.69. Whereas threshold is equals to 0.50, whereas African American threshold is 0.62. So we can say threshold is 0.62 for this particular blue curve. So you can see this is the blue curve which is being represented by African American, and for which I am using this threshold value, that is 0.62 over here, whereas 0.50 when we put it like you can see, this is my 0.5 value, whereas for this particular curve, this particular threshold value is 0.62. Now make some new predictions as two separate decision thresholds, and again we calculated. So you can see my accuracy is being reduced and it comes out to be 0.65. So my as it seems on the table, we have been able to substantially reduce equalized odds differences, decrease 0.0.32 to 0.05 with similar or overall accuracy. Means accuracy is not too much compromised, but my test that has been, we can say the difference between that is reduced from 0.32 to 0.05, right? So it shows an improvement over the algorithm. Now post-processing under threshold optimizer. So we just applying some optimizers as well. So you can see threshold optimizer has been applied to post-process the logistic regression model. Post-processing means we have already discussed. We apply the kind of classification to the algorithm, then we apply optimize, and finally we get a kind of equalized odds is 0.03. Means that it further reduced. You see, initially the value is 0.05. Now it comes out to 0.03, and we have an accuracy test of the test is equal to 0.65. So in this way, we can apply different kind of mechanism, or we can say post-processing or the pre-processing kind of techniques. For pre-processing, we can have some sort of accuracy, but in post-processing, again, we can have further reduction the what we can say the error. We can say print some resolution, then so interpolated threshold, so you can have these kind of values. We can plot this AUC curve, then constant learning using exponential gradients. So again, we are changing the values based on exponential gradient. Again, we train the model, and again we see what could be my accuracy. Now you can see it has somewhat again reduced. The equalizer odds becomes 0.02. Means that we are changing my kind of calculation for the gradient. Means the way we are changing our learning curve, right? So most of you are aware about what actually gradient is and how it has been calculated. Now, the conclusion remark is, in this tutorial we have showcased several ways in which we can use fairness-aware machine learning algorithm to post-process or learn classifier that adhere to a fairness constraint. In particular, we considered post-processing, predictions through manually identifying a group-specific decision threshold, or post-processing predictions through automatically identifying. It is being done through threshold optimization. And however, we have made one more change by applying exponential gradient or exponentiated gradient. So these are some of the discussion points that we can take into consideration. So here we are going to end up this particular session by today. So this is all about what we can do with some sort of fairness kind of toolkit understanding. However, there are some other kind of we can say mechanism also available, like for example, we can say IBM fairness toolkit, or maybe we can have some Microsoft Azure fairness toolkit. So, there could be n number of options which are being available as such nowadays, and we can work on any of them in order to get the kind of execution, that even suppose that you are working on, say, for example, you are working on, say, Power BI, means you are working on, you are very good in Power BI. So you can include some of the matrices in Power BI in order to mitigate some of the, we can say, ethical issues, because BI itself is a very good area to understand, and we can apply various matrices in the Power BI itself, and we can get a perfect or the fair output. So this is all about for today's discussion. and I hope I am not too much able to give you the scenario about the topic that we have discussed, but a little bit of input are there from my side, and hope you have get something out of it, because ultimately in this 1.5 hour it is not possible to, I mean, deliver so many things, but I try my level best. So in next 5 minutes, if suppose you have any questions, you are feel free to ask, please.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, if you have any questions, the session is open for question answer. Anyone? Yes, sir. Please. Participants, if you want to ask any questions.
It is, I mean, it is my own opinion that every one of us should be more into the research kind of, we can say, more acquainted towards research kind of our environment,
Yes,
such kind
yes.
of activities. Like for example, whether in place of using just click and finish, we start exploring some good programming methods where we can use such kind of matrices, where we can tweak and twist such kind of matrices as per our requirement, so that we can develop our own kind of we can say mechanism to identify that kind of thing, because we all of us are really we are faculty from different institute, and we should develop our research profile also, not only with the, I mean, the subject we are teaching, but with the modern day subjects, like for example the like ethics and AI for education and all that.
So this is our session number 7, that is on ensuring safety, ethics, and effectiveness of AI-driven education. Abhishek, Dr. Abhishek Bhatt has given us a big insight into a complete tour of the vision of AI, starting from the basic theory of artificial intelligence. He has driven us from the primary objectives of artificial intelligence in our education, the threats and biases. He has also discussed the case study of the uh, fairness aware machine learning algorithm, the optimization of this algorithm, and its demonstration. Sir has also taken care of the himself have taken care of the ethics, as he has mentioned in his presentation, the AI powered applications like chatbot and the other AI driven applications. He has also explained us the ethical AI, explainable AI, and what is the responsible AI. So that is how then the next one that he also explain us the type of harms that has been caused by the AI if it is not used with the fairness policy. He has also taken the example of the supposed to be the admission process of students, right from admission to the exit survey, how the AI application can help us in these traditional process can be converted to the artificial intelligence kind of applications. He also given us the view in the how this optimization of all these algorithms are very much essential. Then he has given us the hands on the Google Colab, how he has designed and optimized that fairness aware machine learning algorithm. He also discussed the future of data science. He also stress on the given stress on the data quality that has to be governed by the policies of the respective governments. He also discussed the ethical objectives in education that are very important, like digital ethics. Responsible AI is one of the application where this digital ethics has to be taken care of. His main concern in artificial intelligence, he has uh, given focused on biases and control and morality of artificial intelligence. And the very good part of that, he himself has uh, uh, created that fairness aware machine learning algorithm and demonstrated us how those parameter variation and optimization of parameters changes the classification accuracy and all these things. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for giving us these insights into artificial intelligence. Dear participants, you can this feedback link is been shared with you in the chat box. If you still have, sir is available. If you still have any question, you can go ahead with the questions. Sir is ready to means clear your doubts in very I very informative session that we have today.
I mean, I should say thanks to KKWIEER community, especially Vandana ma'am. I mean, I'm really thankful. Even I have a good connect with KKWIEER as such. I mean, I have visited KKWIEER almost every year. I mean, last time I had visited a session with mechanical department. I used to deliver a session on AI in mechanical engineering, and it's a very good institute at Nasik as such. Nasik is a very nice city. It's very close to my heart, and we used to visit Nasik very often. Uh, and I mean, really thanks a lot to all the participants, all the organizers, and all the faculty members, HOD, and all the management of the KKWIEER Society and KKWIEER Institute of Engineering, Education and Research to provide me such a great opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
So with the permission of chair, I declare this session to be ended here, and participants be with us. We will start the next session very soon in just 5 minutes. So thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
One doubt, sir.
Yes, sir.
Is the feedback for every session is mandatory, or it is like attendance is noted with the presentees that is displayed on?
No, we are doing both the things. We are also taking your attendance through the chat boxes, and we are also getting the feedback also.
Right.
Yes.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, actually, regarding the feedback, right? Since the feedback link is posted in the chat, right? So
Yes.
the last session feedback we were not able to give it because the call closes and we don't have access to those. It will be great if you can share the feedback links in the WhatsApp group.
Okay,
Like
we
that,
will talk. Yes.
yeah, like that I missed yesterday's.
Yes. I will talk with our coordinator, and we will do the needful.
Oh, okay, sir.
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
An extensive discussion on NPS with the chairman, Dr. NPS only on India Data. Leaders that chance celebrate Okay, the trusted service. Congratulations. आज रात में चला के साथ आर्थिक विकास की संभावनाएं चार चार का ये महत्व क्या होगा और वेंडर्स को मिले
Good evening, participants. So we are ready with our session number 8, and our resource person is already joined with us. Okay. So good evening, everyone. I hope you are having this session, first session so far, enriching your knowledge and having a better experience. Welcome back to session number 8. That is,
Sir.
yes, sir.
Sir, we require a little bit break because minds is supposed to be stable so that we can understand. Yes, we know having a time constraint, but it's brainstorming. Like you can understand that if we are not going to get a little bit break, how we are going to accommodate the new one. So that is what I expect. And yesterday's we have written that at least you maintain 5 to 10 minutes so that we can at least mentally prepared for the next session.
Yes,
That
sir.
is what request is, sir. Please.
That is, yeah, but we have already shared the schedule, and the resource persons have been already informed about the session timing. So they have taken their time out, and they are joining us. So it's already the planned kind of thing.
Yes, sir.
So
I do understand, sir.
yes.
We can request them to give time. It's not
Yes.
compulsory.
Yes, sir. Little bit, sir.
Yes, sir. So we will take care of that. So now we will proceed with this session number 8. I welcome Dr. Arvind Yadav, who is our resource person for this session number 8. That is our AI-enabled adaptivity in learning, personalized education. That is our topic for this session number 8. So in this world of increasing value, personalized experiences, adaptive learning powered by AI stand out as a game changer in education. This session will provide us the insight into how AI can create more tailored and impactful learning journey for the students. Let me introduce our speaker. Dr. Arvind Yadav is an associate professor at Nirma University, Ahmedabad, Gujarat. Welcome, sir. I hope sir has already joined with us in this session.
Yeah, I'm here only.
Okay, thank you, sir. Sir has completed his PhD in the domain of image processing in the year 2016 from Electrical Department of IIT Roorkee. He has secured his BTech in Electronics and Communication, ME in Industrial Electronics in the year 1999 and 2001. He has published more than 20 journals, papers indexed in Scopus journals. He has also published around 56 conference papers in national and international conferences. He has successfully completed one international project as a principal investigator. The title of the project is AI, IoT, and Digital Technologies for Future Sustainable Smart Cities. It has been funded by Royal Academy of Engineering UK under the Transforming System through Partnership. The funding of this project is almost pound 80,000 sterlings, and the project is during the year 21 to 23. He is currently working on one of the national funded project as a principal investigator. The title of the project is Designed and Pilot Implementation of Open Access Web Portal using Machine Learning for Predictive Analysis and Visualization of Material and Child Maternal and Child Under Nutrition in India. The funding agency is Indian Council of Medical Research, ICMR, New Delhi. Sir has supervised 5 PhD students, and current the 5 students have been already awarded PhD under him, and 5 are currently pursuing PhD under Sir's guidance. Welcome, sir. And I invite you to continue with your session.
So thank you so much. And first of all, I'm grateful to the coordinator of the program, Dr. Vandana, who has given me this opportunity to interact faculty members, and I could see the number of participants are more than 200 plus. So good evening, everyone. I hope I'm clearly audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So do we have access that we can give a chance to the participant to have a discussion? Is there any possibility over there, or is it going to be one side?
No. The participants can unmute their mic and they can interact with you.
Okay, perfect. So in between, I would like to have an interaction with the participants. Like somebody
Definitely.
has rightly pointed out, just listening the speaker, probably it's a bit boring thing to have nowadays. So let's make it a bit of interactive. Uh, please allow me to share my screen first.
You have already been, sir, done co-host, so you can
Okay,
share. Oh, yes.
perfect. I'm just looking at that. Okay. So I hope my screen is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So my topic for today's presentation is AI enable adaptivity in learning and personalized education. Now, before we talk about the personalized education, let us understand the education scenario in today's world. We'll have discussion about all these things. As you all are faculty members, so you must be using some tools because after COVID-19 situation, everybody is adapted with the digital tools. So more or less, knowingly or unknowingly, we are practicing. Sir has already given a nice introduction about me. Let me just talk about the university where I'm working in. So I'm working with Nirma University that is located in Ahmedabad, and it is one of the best private university in Ahmedabad. Definitely, everybody says that their university is best, but this is based upon the statistics that is available. And here is the logo. So you can see a child holding a pen and writing something on a piece of paper. So probably because this was the image that has been envisioned when the university was uh, actually came into the picture. But probably if the same picture would have to be redrawn today, so child may not be having that notebook. The child might be holding a notebook, but rather than notebook, it's a netbook, or might be holding a laptop or tablet or something like that. So as I mentioned, Nirma University is a research-oriented university, and it believes multidisciplinary research, and it's a not-for-profit state private university. It is also being awarded Center of Excellence by Government of Gujarat, and its constitute institutes, departments, and center facilities are for the development of students as well as for faculty members. And fortunately, we are having a lush green campus, which is well equipped with the state of art things. So it was established in year 1995 by the Nirma Education and Research Foundation, and our president, Dr. Karsanbhai Patel, who is a well-known personality in India. He has laid the foundation of Nirma Education and Research Foundation. It is a self-financed engineering college in the state of Gujarat. The BTech courses are being accredited by the NBA under Tier 1 category, and it is one of the most sought after institutes and has been recognized as a leading center of education in the country. These are some of the institutes that is running under Nirma University: architecture, commerce, design, law, management, pharmacy, science, technology, international study, and faculty of doctoral studies and research. These are some of the center of uh, excellence that this university is having. Here is a disclaimer about the presentation that I'm going to make. So the text, image, video, all the materials which are being used for the preparation of this PPT is taken from different research papers, books, theses, online materials, available on the internet, and other resources. And this presentation is just prepared to disseminate the information for academic research purpose and information only. Before I start my presentation, I would like to know what is the current state of education in India. If somebody can just share their opinion, that would be great.
Participants, if you want, you can unmute your mic and share your views.
Yes, anyone? Fine. So
I think, sir,
traditionally,
as you
Hello?
have point. Yes.
Yes, please.
Hello, sir.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, please.
I think there is a network issue. Sir, you can carry.
Okay, fine. So, yes, madam, if you wish to speak, please go ahead.
So you just now asked about the education system in our country.
Right.
I think it's really very poor.
Okay.
The new technology is not reached to all kinds of students, all level. I said in a very high school, very good, where the level of education is very high. There, all technology is reachable, but especially for where government institutions are there, children are not able to get the latest technology, and we also need to change the syllabus.
True. Fine. So one of the concern is the infrastructure. Probably that is what you are talking about, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Fine. Right. So that is one thing. And how do we deliver contents to the student? Is it a student centric or is it a teacher centric?
Now, actually, it is a teacher centric, I feel.
Right. Because if I assume an engineering college or maybe any other college, so the strength of the class would be somewhere around 40 to 60 or maybe 80, right?
Yes, yes, sir. Yes.
Whatever syllabus has been defined will go with that, and irrespective of knowing what is the level of the student.
Yes.
Is it fine? Correct me if I'm wrong somewhere.
I was not able to hear the full answer, sir. Maybe you.
So if we methods, they basically fail to address individual learning needs. Here, when I say individual learning needs, I'm talking about individual students' learning need, right?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So what we want AI. So now it is, earlier it was a one-to-many. Now we are talking about students in the class, they are at the same level. Now, when I say same level, that they are having same basic fundamentals, right? So here we are going to explore how AI is going to revolutionize personalized education. So I'm just going to run a video over here. I hope this audio and video is clear to everyone.
Sir, audio is not there. Visual is ours.
Audio is not there.
I think you need to
Sir, you need to
allow
reshare
your
with audio, system audio.
Sorry.
System audio. You
What
have
I-
to share with system audio.
Okay, just a minute. So right now I'm using headphones, so probably it is
No,
giving that issue.
in the I think share mode, there may be option.
Okay, is it audible now? Is it
Yes,
audible
yes,
now?
yes, yes. Now I think yes.
Just a minute, I'll start again.
अच्छा बताइए, हरित प्रदेश में कितने वोटर्स हैं?
1,98,40,812 2019 की फिगर है।
और विधानसभा कितने?
90।
जातीय समीकरण?
वो तो मेरी उंगलियों पे है, तू मैथ सिखा।
अरे वही सिखा रहा हूँ, लेकिन
देखो सब बातों को ध्यान में रखकर संभावना से
संभावना, प्रोबेबिलिटी, ये सीख लो आप, हर साल आता है 10 नंबर का।
हाँ, संभावना बताने में तुमने बहुत अच्छा।
वेरी गुड, शुक्रिया। लो ताश की गड्डी
खेलने का टूटना है, तू सिखा।
वही कर रहा था, सवाल तो सुनो। पत्ता बिना सोचे समझे एक अच्छी तरह से फेंटी हुई ताश की गड्डी से निकाला जाएगा। एक भी रानी या लाल पत्ता यहाँ आने की संभावना बताओ।
20 पत्ते तो घट गए, काले बचे 26, जैसे 2 रानी और निकाल दो बचे 24, टोटल पत्ते 52, तो 24 बट्टा 52।
24
तेरा
जवाब चेक कर लीजिए।
Hello, participants. Am I still audible to all of you?
Yes, 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 sir.
Yeah.
Yes,
So can
sir.
we consider that as one of the example of personalized education?
I think your voice is breaking.
Just a minute. Am I clearly audible now?
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
So my question was, can we?
The voice is breaking. We cannot hear anything
Yes,
now.
we are missing.
Just a minute. Let me see where is the issue.
It's a network glitch.
Okay. Fine. Is it audible now?
Yes, audible.
Fine. So if we focus on the previous video, is with that? The video over here.
Sir, does it have audio? Because we are not having.
We can't see the audio here. We can't hear.
I think again you need to share with the system audio, sir.
Okay, just a minute, just a minute. I think it's a system audio only.
Sir, you need to unshare, stop sharing.
Okay.
Go to again share. On
Just
the
a minute.
right hand side, it is giving you the option that you have to add with the system audio, and then click on the entire screen. So your screen will be with us and your audio of your system will be with us.
Okay, perfect. So, and let me see. Okay, what I'll do, I'll just, if you don't mind, can I just turn off the video? Because there might be some network issues, so probably this one is going to help me out. Okay, let me share it once again. Fine, is it audible now?
No, sir, the contents are not shared.
Okay, fine.
Someone has suggested that you can share directly on YouTube.
I just shared it. Is it visible now?
Double. Yes, visible.
Okay, just give me the feedback whether audio is it audible or not?
Not audible, sir.
No, no audio, sir.
Let me see what can be done.
Sir, you have to share with computer audio, it seems.
Yeah, that is what I'm doing. I'm doing that only. Is it? Is it audible now?
No, sir.
What can be done? I'm just doing that thing only. I'm sharing my computer video only.
I think your network is having problem.
Maybe. Let me try it once again. Otherwise, we can skip that. Fine. Let's try it once again. Is it audible now?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. So what I'll do, I'll just explain what exactly it is doing over here, right? Just give me a second. So it's a AR, VR based system. Let us say if somebody wished to open the engine or somebody wished to do the assembly of the engine, then an expert is required who's going to guide the person how to do it. So here is the arrangement for a light guided system. So first of all, if you look over here, the person is going to pick up the tool. Here is a light guided system. Please go on the first group. So if you connect over here, it is showing red signal. That means this is not the first group. If it is showing green signal, that means this is the first step that you need to follow. This one is the correct step. And how much amount of pressure is to be applied, that is also shown over here. Now, how you are going to put it, where you need to put, you can see the highlighted section over here. So now the next thing you need to do, you need to connect, you need to just assemble this part. Now, it guides you that from where you need to collect rest of the nut and bolts. Then the next step would be you need to take the tool and you need to apply 8 Newton meter force over here. And all the data is available on the computer screen. So once everything is done, now your computer is not going to, or you'll not be getting a signal over here. So it's an AI based system. So what it is going to do, it will detect because everything is being fed over there. What is the first step? So if you are just putting your tool to some wrong location, then this laser guided system is going to give you a red signal, which indicates that, okay, this is not the correct way. Right? So this is one of the example of AI based education. Everybody agrees with that?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, fine. So let me move to the next slide. Now, why it is important to understand this thing? Because we are talking about ICT, we are talking about digital technology, and now we are talking about AI for education. No doubt, they all are correlated, but AI is something that is on top. Now, one of the things that we always consider in the education is that whatever has been taught to the student, whether the learning has taken place or not. So you need to devise a mechanism for assessment of the teaching quality and the standards. Now, the AI-based education system is to ensure that the student is having improved learning outcomes. Second, student understands what is the applicability of that. Most of the time when we go to the class first time in a semester, we directly start teaching the subject. And student is probably not aware of why he or she is learning that subject. If somehow you can let them know that this is the application, that is why you need to learn the subject. So probably the concentration would be more, applicability of the subject is known to the student, and the learning outcome may be different. Then this can be made interesting by making use of a technology. Second thing, now we cannot have an individual branch wise understanding of the subject. Now we need to go for the multidisciplinary approach. Then we are talking about a global education. I can learn by sitting in India from MIT. That is possible nowadays. Why it is required? Because I have to be ready for global employability. Then I might be planning to pursue my career in research and development. And on top of that, the school, the college or the institution or the university might be interested in assessment and accreditation. So ultimately, without technology, we can not think of education in today's era. All the faculty members are at the center stage. They are attentive to the research. they provide motivation to the student. They are always a learner and they are making use of resources. Now, all these things are to be done in order to ensure that the student is in learning mode or a student can learn a bit better. I hope I'm still audible to all of you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. No
Yeah,
problem.
because the network issue is there, so I'll keep on.
Yes, it is showing low
Is being
network
adapted.
kind
The
of
first one
error.
is this is what I want to learn. You might be having all the knowledge of the world in learning this thing. So please teach me that thing. And the next one is a content focused. Like we are talking about the new education policy that is being brought in India, NEP 2020, which allows me to learn any subject of my interest, irrespective of what degree I am pursuing. So we are moving from teaching centric to learner centric and towards the content focused thing. So here is the modern teaching paradigm. First one is the e-learning. So can you just give me some example of e-learning? Or what is e-learning? Participants?
Some MOOCs course, etc., which they attend.
NPTL.
Right. NPTL, that is e-learning.
Yes.
So what is the methodology that is being used in NPTL?
Pre-recorded videos.
Pre-recorded videos. Then
And
pre-recorded,
assignments.
yes.
Quiz assignments.
Perfect, perfect, right? So is it a two-way communication or is it a one-way communication?
Majority is one way.
Majority is
But
one way.
a little bit of time they give for interaction.
Perfect, perfect. That means if you are having any query, so they are having a specific time, you can have a discussion about that. So that is another way of learning. So what is the base part of this e-learning? Is it better than classroom teaching?
It's debatable topic.
Yeah,
it depends on the student. If the student is intelligent, he is in a e-learning resources are enough. If the student is not interested, then we cannot force him to listen to the audios or videos.
Perfect, perfect. Now, so okay, let me know.
What I want to say, sir, I can say that it is not like better. It is a convenient way of learning.
Perfect. I think this is the most appropriate word that you can use. Convenient. Convenient in the sense, I don't want to learn during 9 to 5.
Well,
But
convenience comes with price, especially when we want to make students to study who don't want to study. It becomes a challenge.
Right, right, right. Fine. There are a lot of challenges and opportunities. Fine. But in e-learning, one of the best part of e-learning is that whenever you wish to learn, you can turn on the video or audio and probably you can run. Right? Next one is a hybrid learning. Hybrid learning is where you are looking or you are learning from the video, right? You have attended a lecture of NPTL, then you come to the class, and when your teacher starts teaching, then whatever queries you are having over there, we are going to discuss all the queries over here. So probably what was not clear to you during video, it will get clear over here. Right?
Something like flipped classroom, right? Flipped classroom.
Yes, yes. It's a flipped classroom that we are talking about. Next one is a gamification. So if I want to teach somebody LIFO, LIFO is the concept, right? That is being used in it is one of the best algorithm that we can talk about if I'm talking about computer subject. Last in, first out. Now, if I need to teach this last in, first out to the student, what is the best way to demonstrate it? Participants?
Put balls inside a box, hollow cylindrical box. When you want to remove
Right.
it out, the last in will come out first.
Okay. And if some
One-sided
lady,
open.
yeah, if some female faculty is delivering that talk
Role,
and nothing is
role play
audible
is
with that.
better.
Sorry?
Role play is a better.
Role plays better, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I can visualize a female faculty is delivering this talk and she's wearing bangles. So what she can demonstrate that, okay, I cannot, uh, uh, I can pick up the last bangle which was inserted in my hand first, and the first which was inserted, that will come out in the last, right?
Yes, sir.
Fine. So gamification is another approach which is going to create curiosity among the learners to learn a topic. Next one is the aim learning. Experiential learning. You are performing some experiment and you're learning from that. So our laboratory sessions are designed for that. Then project-based learning. Some project task will be assigned to a student or a group of students, and probably they are going to learn out of that. Then teacher is a role of mentors, right? Teacher will not teach each and everything that is written in the book. What teacher is going to do, and that should be the task of the teacher. Teacher should be the facilitator. He should not be the one who is just going to read each and every statement that is given in the book. He's just going to generate the curiosity among the learners so that they can start learning. And whenever they are facing the difficulty, teacher is playing the role of a mentor. And I hope most of us are doing the same thing. Then refresher content. Then artificial intelligence is what that we'll be talking today. Then virtual reality and augmented reality. Then comes students' computer literacy. And finally, online schooling, right? So these are some of the ways by which a student can learn. Should I use only single learning mechanism, or should I club all the 12 that is presented over here in order to improve the learning outcome of the student? Can I hear something from the participants regarding this?
Sir, combination is always better.
Combination is always better.
Yes.
But here I'm just putting one question. I want answer of that question maybe somewhere in between or maybe tomorrow. If all these things are available, do the role of teacher is still significant in improving the learning outcome of the student? This is the question I'm putting over here. I don't want answer right now, but later we'll go for that. So if I look over here, right, in NEP, that is NEP 2020, it is being mentioned that transformative potential of AI should be used in the education. And the aim is to enhance learning experience and make education more accessible, personalized, and efficient. Probably to the base of my knowledge, it was expected that somewhere around 2023 or in 2024 will switch over to this thing. Again, it is my perception. But because of that COVID, everything started early. So here are some of the key recommendations of NEP 2020 for AI in education. The first one is a personalized learning. which indicates that if I am a student, based upon my capacity, based upon my pace, I should be learning a topic. I should not be learning based upon the pace of my peers or my colleagues. I'm a slow learner. So I'll not learn the topic in 1 hour, or I may not learn it in one day, or I may not learn it in 1 week. I'll learn it as per my pace. That means if you want to teach me, you need to devise a mechanism that should be tailor-made as per my requirement. Then next one is teacher and student support. So here it is expected the artificial intelligence is going to provide all the support to the faculty members and the students so that the learning outcome of the student can be improved. That may be in terms of delivering lessons and providing personalized learning experience to the students. Next one comes assessment. Again, as a teacher, probably the most difficult task would be assessing the answer sheets of the student. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the AI should be able to automate evaluations, and that is going to make not only the process faster, but will be more accurate. So if I need to evaluate 50 copies for the same question, not necessary for the same answer, I'll be giving the same marks. But if AI is evaluating that thing, there is chance that for the same answer, the marking scheme and the marking would be same. Then the next thing is content development. Here, the artificial intelligence can be used in developing educational content that is adaptable for different learning style and preference. Now, in India, we are having a lot of languages. So most of the students, they complete their education in local language. But when they come to college, and specifically when they join technical college, most of the time they need to learn in English. So most of the time it is a challenge to a group of students to understand English. They might be very good about the subject topic, but because of the language barrier, they are unable to score high. They are unable to understand the concept. So here comes the role of AI, which is going to translate the information that is available in English into their local language so that they can understand the concept easily. Accessibility. The AI should provide learning opportunity to all the students with disabilities through adaptive technology. So you might have seen in Windows, if somebody is having a vision problem, so a zooming option is given over there. They can just zoom that and the content would be clearly visible to them. Data analytics. This is the most important thing as far as AI in education is concerned. So if I am a slow learner and you want me to understand one specific topic, so a teacher may start delivering the topic from a level so that I can understand clearly. But how teacher is going to know all these things? So they are going to study my past performance. They are going to know what is known to me, what is still not known to me. And based upon that, they'll be starting that thing. But all these things, they look fascinating. But when it comes to delivering a topic about a subject in a class, you cannot think of all these things. When you'll go to the class, if you're doing chalk and talk, or if you're using a PPT presentation, So you are going to start your topic at an average level so that everybody can understand. Yeah, there might be some students, they may not understand. So here comes the role of AI in education. Yeah. Since all of you are faculty members, would you like to add something over here if I have missed anything? Yes, please.
Participants.
Sir,
Yes, please.
I just wanted to ask that AI-based education is according to the learning style of the student, according to the adaptability, acceptability of the and capacity of the student. So
Perfect.
the marking scheme and assessment pattern, AI-based assessment pattern should be same for all students, or it should be different for different capacity of students? Marking scheme and assessment pattern.
As far as marking scheme is concerned, there won't be any change in the marking scheme. But see, if I'm having 60 students in the class, so some of the students might be scoring 10 out of 10. Some of might be scoring only 70%, 60%, 50%. But there are some students, they just want to get a pass class, 40 marks over there. So you're not expecting every student to understand each and every topic of that subject. What you want that they are having a basic understanding of that subject so that they can clear. That is one way to understand. Second way to understand is that like in engineering, we are having around 30 to 40 subjects in a 4-year course or maybe more than that. But not necessary student has to focus on all the 40 subjects in order to excel or in order to make his career. He has to study one subject that might be more than sufficient to provide him a lucrative career. So when it comes marking won't be different for all the student. Yes, what can be done, like you might be knowing, when you need to prepare your question paper, you are preparing questions in a way that around 40% questions are easy. Then you are increasing the complexity of the questions, like they are medium, then they are medium to hard, and finally they are hard. Right?
Yes, according to knowledge levels.
Yeah, according to knowledge level. We always go for Bloom's taxonomy.
Bloom
So
taxonomy.
what we understand that at least all the students who is not having high intellectual level, they should be able to clear that subject. They should get a basic understanding of the subject. They may not be creating a new circuit. They may not be coming out with new idea, but they understand how the circuit works. Fine?
Okay. Fine.
Yes, please.
Is it that you're telling that AI will help generate different types of question papers for, I mean, probably grading people on, say, A category, B category, something like that?
AI can generate all the kinds of questions that you wish.
Okay.
Right? If you ask AI to generate easy questions based upon understanding, it is going to generate that sort of question. If you want AI to generate a very complex question, AI will be preparing that question.
Whenever we give instruction to the AI, we should mention the difficulty level also.
Perfect. That you have to, otherwise it may generate any question, any kind of question. So you need to provide that difficulty level also.
ChatGPT has been giving me very simple questions.
So
Okay.
if you just change the prompt of ChatGPT, it will provide you the complex question also.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Fine. So these are the key recommendations of NEP 2020 as far as the AI is concerned, and this is what we are following. Nowadays, AI is being used in school, right? So how they are doing? So they are having a television over there. Some animations are given over there. They'll click they don't, you click on the exclamation mark and it will describe what this topic. Are going to get advantage. So if I have to speak about an elephant that nobody has seen till today, and I'm saying, okay, elephant is having 4 legs, is having, right? Something like that. So somebody who might have seen a horse or maybe donkey, they'll say, fine, only trunk is missing, rest of the thing is there. So probably this is another kind of elephant, right? But when you give the visualization of that, when you show the image, they'll be having 50% understanding. But when you show the video from all the directions, then probably they'll get to know that, okay, this is what elephant look like. They may differentiate between the black elephant, gray elephant. So while offering many implement the best and you have to generate but what about rest? They may not be having a high-speed internet connection. Yes, please. Did somebody pointed out something?
No, sir, but your voice is breaking. That's why someone may have.
Sorry, because of this network issues, this thing is
Yeah,
happening. And
maybe.
unfortunately, I don't have any control over it.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Please proceed.
Yeah. So is being used for education. Chatbots, everybody knows what chatbot is. Virtual reality. And I would like to add one more thing over here. AR, augmented reality. And a learning management system is something that is known to everyone. Now, everybody might be using some learning management system. Is there anyone who has never used learning management system? I don't want answer in yes. I want answer in no. Right? Everybody must be using learning management system. And they might be posting the quiz, questions, learning materials, videos, audios, and everything on LMS, which allows students to access the material at their convenient time and learn. Let us have a look at some of the advantages of using AI in education. The first one is a personalized learning. So what personalized learning says, before teaching me anything, then in order to teach that topic, you tailor-made the resources that suits best for my learning requirement.
Your voice is breaking, sir. We have
You
missed all the earlier part of your statement.
As far as this topic is concerned?
Yes, sir. This personalized learning. Yeah, you are talking about.
Repeat this statement.
Yes.
You need to teach the student in a way so that he understands. Now, for that, I need to know the weakness of the student. I need to know the strength of the student. And accordingly, I need to tailor-made the content so that a student can easily grasp the information. I hope I'm still audible clearly.
Yes, clear.
Yeah. Second, efficiency and automation. You all will be agree that nowadays it is not about just teaching. You'll be having a lot of administrative work. You need to take the attendance, you need to generate that report, you need to prepare grading and all these things. Here, the AI can play a vital role to automate most of the administrative tasks, such as grading, scheduling, so that the teacher can focus on mentoring the student rather than investing time on all these administrative tasks. AI can generate some improved educational content that will be useful to the student, like a gamified learning experience, a virtual field trips that can make lessons more interesting and memorable. Like if I want to visit one of the best industry in India, let us say Baba Atomic Research. So my student may not be having access of that, but a virtual tour of that can be done so that they can know that what happens in a nuclear, if nuclear laboratory is there, how it works. Artificial intelligence can provide access to all the resources so that students can learn. So they can provide a student in remote or undeserved areas, closing the education gap. Not necessary every time a student has to come to the big city, like in Gujarat, they need to come to Ahmedabad or Vadodara. In Mumbai, they need to run to Mumbai or Pune. Even if they are residing in a remote area, they'll be having access of all the resources. 24/7 availability. How many of you have learned us, or how many of you have used Simply Learn tool, a website? Anybody has used Simply Learn to learn Python? Hello?
Through it a little bit. It was nice, very simple also.
Yeah. What is the best part of Simply Learn? Was there any teacher who was teaching you?
Very simplified way of presenting. They have very simple way of understanding things.
Right. So they'll keep the things simple, and whatever they have taught in a topic, they'll give some examples over there, right?
Yes,
And then
yes.
you need to select the correct answer. But what will happen if you select a wrong answer?
No, I didn't go to that level, but I just read through that and I found a lot of code very useful to immediately put it on my collabs.
Right. So what Simply Learn does, like if it has taught you, let us say, create a for loop, right? Then it is going to ask you some questions based upon that for loop. And then it will ask you to give an answer. If you have given a correct, wrong answer, then again it will ask you to try the next one. Now, when you have selected the correct answer, it will give the reason why it is the correct answer. So it will not allow you to move to the next level until you have learned this topic. And that is what you want. You want your student to learn a topic. So that is one of the simplest AI technique that can be used in order to prepare this thing. Next one is the language learning. Most of our students, they want to move to Canada, Germany. So they need a specific language to learn, right? So most of them are joining this IELTS, they are taking coaching over there. But sometimes even for them, it becomes very difficult. So these AI tools, they help them to learn that thing. So I'm not sure today, but maybe tomorrow I'll be, if you people will have access of your laptop, then we'll do a bit of hands-on session on how to learn language using a specific AI tool. So the AI-powered language learning apps can provide instant translation, pronunciation, feedback, and language practice. Next one is, yes, please.
There is a mobile app that, if you speak into it, it will directly speak to the other person with the other language.
Perfect. That is another way.
Yeah,
right?
is there really a need to learn now? The question has come like, should we really learn? Because I can speak in language I know, and the other person, it will translate me into any language I want the other person to understand. And same way I can hear from him also.
I do agree, but whatever that software is translating, whether it is doing the correct translation or not, how you will validate that thing? If you
Since I
are
knew
not
both the
using that,
languages, I validated it. Since I knew both the languages, when I went to Gulf,
yeah,
between English and Arabic and English and Urdu, I was able to tell that.
yeah, but it was 100% correct all the time.
Yeah, most of the time it was right.
Most
Because
of the time.
day-to-day activities, we go to a hotel and I want the reservation, and the person doesn't know English, he knows only Arabic. We are able to converse with him on the phone.
Fine. So now see what happens. One of the best part of the human being is that even if you're not giving a correct statement, human understand it correctly. They will skip so many things and they will try to understand what you are trying to say. In normal scenario, it is not making any difference. But what if you have to present something and if you made a single mistake and probably you are going to lose 1,000 crore contract, are you going to take a risk?
No, that's a hypothetical case, right?
I agree, it's a hypothetical case.
Because of a mistake, a grammar error, we cannot say that we will lose a contract.
Yeah. No, it's a hypothetical thing, and sometimes it may happen that okay, you put comma over, you put pause over here, but you're supposed to put pause somewhere else.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go in another way. See, right now you are having access of the mobile, so you are able to do that communication. What if that mobile's battery is drained out and you have to do the conversation? In that case, it won't be possible for you. So you are basically relying on the device. You are basically relying on mobile to do all these activities. But sometimes if you're not having access of that, then you'll be blank.
See, my concern is nowadays students are relying on devices and they are not learning. If I give an assignment, they are just copying from, and they are bringing one of the best assignments written.
So it's a temporary thing that is happening. Like it is the short way to achieve the goal. They are not learning. They are just completing the task in order to earn a degree. They don't learn.
So, I mean, it's a debatable. Is AI helpful? I mean, it depends on
No,
the
no, no.
interest.
See, AI is helpful as well as
Your voice is gone, I think.
consider how it is helpful to us. And we have to avoid the adverse impact also. Right? Hello?
I think the voice is breaking. I'm not able to catch some words.
What I was saying that AI is
gone
as well as
again.
it is having some adverse impact. Am I audible now?
Yes.
Yeah. So what we need to do, we have to just focus on advantage of the AI. Let us not get into the disadvantage of the AI. There are a lot of disadvantages. Fine. Hello?
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Yes.
So next one is the early intervention. So AI can detect learning now. Let us understand it from one perspective. Like every day I read 5 pages, right? And I have to read 100 page. But in that case, I'll be completing that thing in 20 days. But if my task in 10 days, then if I have just read 5 pages today, AI is going to give me a flag that, okay, you need to speed up in order to complete the task in a specified teacher assistance is there. So they can assist teacher data-driven insight into students' performance, enabling more effective teaching strategies. So in my class, if somebody is already knowing a topic at a certain level, so I'll not insist him to just listen what I am saying. I'll give him a complex problem so that he can solve it. But for that, I should be knowing that what is the level of the student, so that I can define a different strategy to teach that student. Otherwise, a student will get bored in my class and he'll never come to my class next time. Teaching, there is no challenge for him. Then assessment and testing can be taken care by the AI itself. How many of you use Google Form to conduct MCQ test?
I think we did that in Corona time. Most of us were doing it.
Have used it?
I think
During
almost all
All
of
of them.
yes.
Corona time, almost all faculty were using that Google Forms.
Can I make some adjustment over there so that the order of the question would be different? Is it possible or not with that Google form?
No, not possible unless you have something to.
It's possible. You have to just make
It's
some.
possible, sir. It's possible. We have
Yeah.
to select option.
Yeah.
You are having that option. Just select that option and the questions would be available in random order. So even though the students are sitting aside, they might be appearing for different question. Then comes the predictive analytics. AI can predict student outcomes and identify those at risk of falling behind. So early intervention, that is very much similar to what we have talked about early intervention. Cost efficiency. No doubt, the initial cost of infrastructure and all these things are quite high, but over a period of time, it will lead to cost saving in areas like administrative tasks, printing, and distribution of educational material. Though this is an advantage, but there is disadvantage associated with
माझं
that.
जॅकेट तिकडेच आहे. सिस्टीमही सुरू आहे. देणं बंद करू.
Administrative task is gone. That means somebody has lost the job.
Kindly mute the other person, please mute.
So, as I mentioned, the administrative task is gone. That means somebody might have lost a job. A clerk or maybe a supporting staff may not be having job right now. So every advantage is having a relevant disadvantage that is associated with that. AI helps us to have a global collaboration. It can facilitate collaboration among students and educators, breaking down geographical barriers and promoting cross-cultural understanding. It can help us to have advanced research. The best example of this AI use in advanced research is the corona antivirus or the corona vaccine that has been generated, right? If you know the full timeline of this vaccine, you'll find out it takes few years, but the vaccine was made available in a year or maybe less than. So it can assist student researcher in data analytics, allowing them to tackle complex research projects more efficiently, go for new permutation and combination of a drug so that you can take care of something. AI can help in the professional development by providing for educators, helping them to stay up to date with latest teaching methods and technologies. Wow. So we have seen all the advantages of AI. Let's have a look at the disadvantages of AI. Privacy concerns. Whenever you are using AI, feed your data into that, and that data may be stolen by somebody, and that data may be used by someone for not good purpose. Next one is a bias and fairness. So I have trained ICSE student, school, IC school, or maybe some English medium school. And now I'm using the same model for a local language student. Is it going to give me the required output or outcome or suggestion?
No, the answer will be biased.
Yeah. So
So if you
the
can
AI
translate, maybe if you translate and then let the tool understand, then.
But sir, the question is that if I'm using, if I compare a remote area government school and a very good private school, will there be any difference?
Yeah, students'
I'm talking
performance will
about
vary.
actual thing, right?
That is equal
The blah
opportunity.
blah
Others
good things
people
about
have
everything.
equal opportunity. The bias sets in because of lack of equal opportunity between rural and non-rural areas.
Perfect. So if my model is being trained at some other level and I'm testing it for some other level, so probably whatever suggestions would be given, they may not be appropriate one. So the AI is showing the biasness and okay. Now everybody says, okay, I'll go to ChatGPT and I'll learn from that. And they assume that ChatGPT is guru. So what happens when you are learning everything from ChatGPT or AI tool, you're not giving importance to your teacher. So here they assume, okay, teaching everything, but ChatGPT knows everything. For a time or for a while, let us assume ChatGPT knows everything. But can ChatGPT provide you answer in contextual manner? No, not all the time.
It gives
So here
serious
comes the role
mathematical
of
errors. Today I was trying to compute that PCA, principal component analysis. It gave totally wrong answers.
yeah, of course, that is what. So if I'm blindly believing that whatever ChatGPT is giving, that is correct, because I'm not reading when that is the correct answer. So the teacher-student relationship is actually deteriorating because of this AI. Then equity. Ensuring equitable access to AI resources and tools is critical, as all the schools or students may not have equal access to the AI-based education solution. So potentially, they actually create the educational inequalities. That is the disadvantage of AI. Loss of job, yes, of course, because of AI, some loss of job will use to write a letter. Everybody can write a letter. Just type, just give some prompt into the ChatGPT, and it is going to prepare a beautiful letter. Because it is an automation task. It is a repetitive task. So the automation, particularly in non-teaching roles, is a bitter truth. And it has given you something wrong. So that accuracy and the quality of the content that is generated by AI need to be checked and verified. Skill. Now we are, if some earlier when a teacher used to give us the assignment, we were reading several books, we used to read it, and then we used to prepare our answers. Nowadays, assignment, it is completed in a single day. Just put the question into the ChatGPT and it is going to give you the answer. So that critical thinking, critical skill development, all these things are losing because of the use of AI tools, or because you are heavily relying on AI tool. Forget about AI. Nowadays, the school kids, if you ask them to multiply 4 by 4, they'll take a calculator and do the multiplication. So that is creating loss of critical skills. Next one is a school schools with limited resources may divert funds towards AI technology, potentially neglecting other critical education needs. So everybody wants to advertise, okay, we are AI equipped schools. So definitely the fund will be diverted over there. And because of the lack of the funds, then other area. Ethical consideration. Schools must address ethical dilemmas related to AI, such as issue of surveillance, data privacy, impact of AI on system is quite high. So they need to consider the long-term cost and potential. Teacher training. How many of you have used this Zoom and these kind of platforms before COVID-19? Hello? Before COVID-19 scenario, how many of you were using that Zoom, WebEx, Teams, Google Meet and all these things?
Very less.
Very less. But when that scenario came, I'm just taking my example. I was not able to actually connect a meeting using a Google Meet. That was the scenario. But what we did, we asked our this management to ensure that they are giving us a training so that we can conduct classes. So teachers training is required. Teachers need proper training to effectively integrate AI tools in their teaching methods. Lack of training can hinder the successful implementation of AI in education. Student distraction. Well, because of mobile, tablet, laptop, students are having a lot of distractions and they love it. Whatever homework you'll give, ChatGPT is can lead to distractions and it can decrease students' attention span. What is personalized plan? Let's have a look over here. Can somebody interpret what this image is trying to say? I would like to hear from the participants because this is not something that I'm presenting to you. Everybody knows it. I hope I'm still audible to everyone. I'm really sorry I'm asking this question again and again because of I'm not pretty sure whether network is good over here or not.
No, sir, you are audible.
So if you look at this image, it tells everything. What personalized learning? You can see a lady. That is my belief. It's a lady. Yeah. Somebody may say, okay, it may be a gents because gents might are also keeping tail nowadays. And then you are having a kid over there. So in a personalized education, one thing is what you want to teach to the student or what the students want to learn. These are two perspectives. So if I want to go for personalized learning, I can give advice. And the advice should be given, such advice should be given that a student can grasp it. I can give instruction, but the instruction mechanism such that they can love to follow your instruction. In order to teach something, I should not only write it on a piece of paper, I need to demonstrate that thing also. Then, in order to do all these things, I have to have knowledge. I should have understanding. I should have the approach of get to know the students, and I should act as a mentor. And at the Now, when I look from the student perspective, students want fun, they want choice. At this point, they are more interested in discovering certain things. Simply say, fine, okay, this is the statement written in the book. They can learn by experiment. Ensure that they are curious about learning something. You need to ensure that their creativity is not killed. They have learned. So if they are looking at a video, you need to education, a teacher must be having all the skill, and the application domain lies with the student. So personalized learning can be tailored to students' strength, weakness, and areas of interest. The pace and
Participants,
instructions are
please
used
mute your
designed for each individual. So technology is greatly leveraged to track and measure student learning and develop learner profiles. Educational tools should be used to develop students' learner profile to customize educational content.
Prakash sir,
नव्यापार
can you mute
I'll
yourself?
end today's session with
Prakash,
this
can you, sir?
quote.
नव्यापार त्याच्यात टाकत असते का पाय
participants,
Prakash,
please mute your devices.
We need technology in every classroom and in every student and teacher's hand because it is the pen and paper of our time and it is the lens through which we experience much of our world. This is a quote that I quote on the internet and it is by David Wallach. So a personalized learning environment ensures that learners become owners of their education and move at their own pace instead of being propelled by the system seeking to graduate student at all the cost. And for this, I have to go for personalized curriculum, which will take into account the individual skill level, interest, strength, weakness, and previous knowledge. So with this, I'll just stop my presentation over here and let me hear from the participants if they are having they want to discuss something.
Participants, you can ask your queries. Session is open for question answer.
sir.
Yes, please.
Please go ahead.
Sir, if you're talking about the personalized curriculum and personalized learning, do you have actually time, that much of time to go for each and every student personalized learning and curriculum design and accordingly?
So in my school or in my college, definitely I don't have. But what I can do, I can take help of artificial intelligence, like learning management system. If I know, for example, let's take up one example. I'm having a very bright student, and I assume that okay, he's a very potential candidate for research and development. Now, I cannot focus on that student in my class. So what I can do, I can give him additional assignment on LMS or through WhatsApp or something. He'll keep on working on that. Whenever he's having issue, he'll come back to me, he'll meet me personally. And this is how I'm going to develop him. Let's take the other case. A student is very poor. He doesn't know how to do go for multiplication or division. but I cannot teach him multiplication or division in the classroom. So I'm going to share separate material for him. I'm going to hand his hold for a period of time, small period of time. I'll give him a direction. He'll do a bit. He'll come to me. Correction will get done. That is with pen and paper. But with, you might have learned of Carnegie system, Mathematia. So that AI-based website allows the student to do mathematics, learn the basic of the mathematics with under the supervision of artificial intelligence. So if you are writing 4 plus 4 is equal to 8, it will say correct. If you are saying 4 plus 4 is equal to 7, it will say incorrect, and it will give you the reason why it is incorrect. So in my classroom, definitely I cannot do, but I can take help of the artificial intelligence tools to help students learn basic things as well as to explore things at the complex level. I hope I have answered your question.
Sir, you're giving the answer as per like assumptions, presumptions like that. See, if the students are very brilliant, he is also going to be sit in the class. He is not going to, because he has to maintain the attendance, and accordingly he will be available into your class. And the student, those who are not interested in learning, they will be also sitting in your class, and they are not interested in learning. Whether you provide any material, any content, we people are putting where all efforts for providing all the notes, all the materials, even providing the whatever he wants. But he is again, he is going to not going to go through with that. He might be interested, he might not be interested, like that. So it's like superficial. It's what I.
But see, if if you're putting plate in front of me, a meal plate, right? So I need to eat that thing. If I'm not eating, so I cannot give that reason, okay, I'm starved because I'm not getting the food. A student has to apply the effort that he has to do.
That is what the lacking, sir. After the corona effect, if you're getting into the class, people interest are getting into some another direction. We are not able to understand that what kind of expectation they are. And the most of the students are having the similar kind of problems.
But sir, ultimately, are they going to get a good job if they'll be having that kind of approach?
That is also not clear into their mind, na, sir. That is also happening. They are not into the clear what they are expecting. The placement teams are giving n number of placement opportunity. People are not interested to appear even. That is again the scenario. What kind of situations are there? Yes, there is a definitely AI is giving all kind of supports, but the things is the mentality which is happening right now, which we are finding in even engineering college, management college, everywhere this is happening. You might be having a very good chunk of a student in your Nirma University, but it is not going to happen to everywhere, right?
Agree. See, tools are available. You have to use the tool. If you're not using the tool, it's of no use to you.
Sir, it's like saying we can take a horse to a pond, but we cannot make it drink.
True.
There is a saying we cannot force the student. It is his choice.
Yes.
To a level we can encourage.
Yeah, that's true. So most of the time students are having like if you consider 20 years back, if your teacher has taught a topic and you could not understand, so there was no way to understand the topic. But now you are having a lot of material, you are having a lot of information available and you can learn. But if you are willing to learn, then only you can learn. If you are not willing, of course, forget about it. I hope I have given acceptable answer. Not the appropriate, but something that may match to your requirement.
Right.
Yeah.
Participants, any other question? So let me summarize this session before concluding. First of all, I must thank Dr. Arvind Yadav for such an inspiring and informative session on the topic that he is dealing with, AI-enabled adaptivity in learning personalized education. He has focused on many issues in personalized education. To name some of few, he initially shared some videos how this AR/VR system is working or can be used in AI-based education. He has also focused on modern education paradigms like the methods that are used for AI-based learning, including hybrid learning, gamification, and all these AR/VR kind of tools. He has also touched the NEP 2020 recommendations that are having the potential, how the potential of AI can be used in education, particularly in school educations. He has also emphasized on the benefit of using AI in education. And the most prominent of his discussion is he has touched the very different topic, that is or the disadvantage of AI, which I think very few speakers have discussed about that. Because everybody is talking about advantage, disadvantages has to be also be considered. So he has focused on privacy concern, bias and fairness, teacher-student relationship, and all these things. So thank you, Dr. Arvind Yadav, for having this evening that is enlightening our thoughts in the AI-enabled adaptivity in the teaching and learning process. I thank on the behalf of KKWIEER institution for giving such an inspiring and a transformative session. Thank you, participants. Your feedback link has been shared in the chat box. Everybody is expected to give the feedback. And looking forward to see you in tomorrow, the session number 9, which will be again at 9, which will be at 6 p.m. tomorrow. Until then, have a wonderful evening. Thank you for being part of this engaging journey. Thank you, Yadav sir.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much to all the participants. It's very difficult to sit for 3 hours. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Should I leave the session now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good night. Good night, everyone.